Throughout the history of the American hip-hop industry, hundreds of rappers have tragically lost their lives to violence. In this story, let's remember those who will forever remain legends in the world of hip-hop. Welcome to the Top Art Legends. Scott La Roc, killed in 1987. The first on the list of slain rap legends is, of course, Scott Monroe Sterling, known as DJ Scott La Roc. He was a hip-hop disc jockey and music producer from the Bronx, New York. In 1986, after meeting rapper KRS-One, they formed Boogie Down Productions, BDP, with DJ Derek D. Nice Jones, a cousin of the shelter's security guard, Floyd Payne. Their debut album, Criminal Minded, released in 1987, is considered a hip-hop classic and peaked at #1, 7 on the Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Albums chart. On August 27, 1987, Scott tried to intervene in a street dispute involving his friend and several men over a woman, a conflict he himself was not directly involved in. Tragically, Scott was shot in the back of the head, causing him to strike the dashboard of his Jeep. His death shocked the hip-hop community and marked the end of an era. 2 men were arrested and charged with the murder, but were acquitted in court. The case remains unsolved to this day. Scott's death inspired KRS-One to launch the Stop the Violence movement.
We've lost into the tragedy that went on in the Bronx, a little shootout out there in the Bronx. Stop the violence.
And what happened was Scott was trying to be a peacemaker between
Exactly, between D-Nice and this guy, and things just got out of hand.
Which gained wide attention through the album By All Means Necessary and the all-star anthem Self-Destruction. Eazy-E died in 1995. Yes, Eazy-E is on this list. And although the official cause of death was AIDS, many believe he was deliberately infected to eliminate him in a way that seemed natural. A native of Compton, Eazy-E rose to fame in 1989 as a co-founder of N.W.A, especially after their song Fuk Da Police provoked the FBI to send the group a warning letter. That moment turned them into outlaw heroes in the rap world.
Basically, gangster rap, I guess it's like telling the real and not holding back, giving up, the reality from the street point of view.
However, internal conflicts led to the group's breakup. Sadly, on March 26, 1995, just a month after his diagnosis, Eazy-E died at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center from pneumonia caused by AIDS-related complications.
That's how I was with Eazy-E, nigga. I loved Eazy-E.
Right, as a kid.
But I never could be friends with Eazy-E when I got with Dr. Dre. I could never say, damn, Eazy, you a bad motherfucker. I fuck with you, cuz your shit is hard. I always had to be like, nigga, fuck that nigga. Because that's the stance I was in.
Did you ever get to tell?
Never.
Oh, man.
Never.
Tupac Shakur, killed in 1996. Tupac was a rebel with a purpose. He voiced the pain, struggles, and injustice faced by many Black Americans. He didn't just succeed in doing so, he inspired a generation. Tragically, on September 7, 1996, Tupac was shot while riding in a black BMW with Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight after attending a boxing match at MGM Grand in Las Vegas.
What was your last memory with Pac?
And Pac came to your fight?
Yes.
Oh, shit. He was really happy after the fight. He was just talking a bunch of shit. And then I went home, and then he left.
What did Pac mean to Mike Tyson?
Man, it was just, it's very difficult to talk about. It was just a young kid that really wanted to be great. And that happened.
A white Cadillac pulled up beside them and opened fire. He was rushed to the hospital, but after falling into a coma, Tupac died on September 13th.
Pac is a strong dude, yo. I know Duke, you know what I'm saying? He's real strong. So when it was like he got shot, I was just more like, again? You know what I'm saying? He always getting shot or shot at. He gonna pull through this one again, make a few records about it, and it's gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? But when he died, I was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Kind of took me by, you know, even though we was going through our drama, I would never wish death on nobody, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't no coming back from that.
The Notorious B.I.G., killed in 1997. Biggie Smalls rose to fame with his smooth, effortless lyrical delivery, blending raw street rap with melodic flow, setting a trend that shaped future generations. In 1995, Wallace was named Rapper of the Year at the Billboard Music Awards, solidifying his status as one of hip-hop's greatest. On March 9th, 1997, just 6 months after Tupac's death, Wallace was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting in Los Angeles. While his SUV was stopped at a red light, a black Chevy Impala pulled up beside him. The driver rolled down the window and fired. Biggie was hit by 4 bullets. He was rushed to the hospital, but was pronounced dead at 1:15 a.m. His murder remains unsolved, but his name is forever etched in hip-hop history.
Walk us through those final moments.
We get out, Puff pull out first. We pull out behind him. He blow past the light. We stopped at the light. When we stopped at the light, I see some chicks like, on the curb. Before you know it, a car just rolled up, start popping in the car. Just pop, 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 pop. Everybody got down in the truck. So that shit stopped. You know, we all hopped out. Everybody door open but Big door. By that time, Puff his truck had came back around. Everybody was like, let's get in the car. And we just got in the car and just drove to the hospital. They take him in the hospital. I didn't go in there. And maybe about 20 minutes later, somebody called me in there. I forgot who it was. Told me to come inside. And they was like, yo, he didn't make it.
Fat Pat, killed in 1998. Patrick Lamarck Hawkins, better known as Fat Pat, was a member of Dead End Alliance and one of the early voices of Southern hip-hop. He helped bring Houston's rap sound to a wider audience. After his death, Rec Shop Records released 2 of his albums, Ghetto Dreams and Throwed Into Game, both in 1998.
Fat Pat, I taught him how to rap on the mic. He used to come to my little shit up in the Heights, and I taught him how to get up on that mic and make his voice you know what I mean?
No shit.
I never really produced much for him, but I'd always engineer for him and show him tips. You know, he's like the homie, you know. You know, we did a few songs, you know, features and shit. But
I never would have fucking linked you and Fat Pat like that, other than the...
Yeah, it's not really documented, you know, it's just... That was like the homie. He got killed before we could really work, you know what I mean? He got shot at the club.
On February 3rd, 1998, Pat went to an apartment complex in Houston to collect money from a promoter. While his friends waited outside, Pat entered the apartment, but was shot in the head and died on the scene at just 27 years old. There are conflicting reports about what happened. Some say the promoter, Kenneth Whizzle Watson, wasn't home and Pat was shot in the hallway. Others claim Watson himself shot Pat, suspecting him of setting up a robbery. His murder remains unsolved, but his legacy in Southern rap lives on. Big L, killed in 1999. Lamont Coleman, known as Big L, became a legend of underground hip-hop thanks to his complex rhymes, sharp humor, and aggressive punchlines. His debut album, Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, 1995, is considered a lyrical classic. Even Nas once said in a Funk Master Flex interview that Big L scared me to death.
Yo, when I heard that on tape, I was scared to death. Yeah. I said, yo, there's no way it's no way I could compete. If this is what I got to compete with, I said, it's no way.
In 1998, Big L launched his own independent label, Flamboyant Entertainment. On February 15th, 1999, he was shot and killed on a Harlem street in his hometown, hit 9 times in the face and chest. His childhood friend, Gerard Woodley, was arrested 3 months later, with police suspecting the shooting was retaliation for something Big L's brother may have done. However, Woodley was released due to lack of evidence, and the case remains unsolved. Woodley himself was later also killed.
What can you share, or what story could you share about the legend?
Well, Big L is like Keith Murray and Biggie. Big L was the guy who I became, met him, and then we became friends, chopping it up. And I would go in the corner where he lived at and stand out there.
In front of the chicken store.
Talk to him, chill. We had aspirations of doing great things.
Jam Master Jay, killed in 2002. Jason William Mizell, better known as Jam Master Jay, was a musician, DJ, producer, and member of the iconic group Run DMC. He joined forces with Joseph Run Simmons and Daryl DMC McDaniels in 1982, right after they graduated from high school. In 1989, Mizell founded Jam Master Jay Records, best known for signing 50 Cent and Onyx. He mentored 50 Cent in his early years, teaching him how to craft hooks and choruses. Tragically, on October 30th, 2002, Mizell was shot and killed inside his recording studio on Merrick Boulevard in Jamaica, Queens. His death was a major blow to hip-hop.
Never in my mind did I think that someone would kill him. And that took a long time to digest because it was like, he only did good.
It was like a nightmare, bro. This was something different. You know, you just felt like one of the good guys got taken out.
You know, it was so shocking and inconceivable. You know, this person that was so full of happiness and love and life to be gone like that.
It's really sad.
It was sad that his life was cut so short so fast. They always say the good die young.
The case remained unsolved for nearly 20 years, tangled in confusing testimonies and unanswered questions.
You worry about guns in America?
I do. I worry about, guns and...
Wasn't there a shooting in your life that affected you?
Yeah, Jam Master Jay. It was very hurtful for me.
In 2024, a jury finally found Carl Jordan Jr. and Ronald Washington guilty of murdering Jam Master Jay. Both face a minimum of 20 years to life in prison. In recognition of their influence, Run DMC was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2009. Soulja Slim, killed in 2003. James Adaryl Tapp Jr., known as Soulja Slim, was a rapper from New Orleans, best known for his raw street style and emotional honesty. Signed to Master P's No Limit Records, he released his debut album, Give It To 'Em Raw, in 1998, which debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200. On November 26, 2003, Slim was shot and killed on the front lawn of the duplex he had bought for his mother in New Orleans' Gentilly neighborhood. He was shot at least 3 times in the face and once in the chest. His stepfather said jealousy over Slim's rising success may have been the motive. His killer was never brought to justice. After his death, Soulja Slim posthumously topped the charts when the song Slow Motion with Juvenile hit number 1 on Billboard, making him the first rapper to do so posthumously since Tupac.
I'm toting she wanted me to make her out a believer.
Mac Dre, killed in 2004. Andre Louis Hicks, better known as Mac Dre, was a pioneering rapper from Vallejo, California, and a major figure in the rise of the hyphy movement, a vibrant Bay Area hip-hop culture that emerged in the early 2000s. Known for his fast rhymes, heavy bass, and wild energy, Mac Dre helped bring the Bay's sound to the mainstream. As founder of Thiz Entertainment, he not only recorded dozens of albums himself, but also gave a platform to local up-and-coming artists. On October 31st, 2004, after performing at a show, Mac Dre was riding in a van on US Route 71 when it was ambushed and shot at. The driver crashed and called 911, but Dre had already died from a gunshot wound to the neck. His murder remains unsolved, and his name remains iconic in Bay Area and West Coast rap culture.
You know, when Mac Dre got killed, it was like Martin Luther King in the Bay. You know what I mean? It was that kind of loss.
Would you compare it almost similar to like how when Nipsey got killed to Los Angeles?
It's the same thing. It's the same Biggie, Pac. It's the same loss. And, I mean, they stole his headstone.
Blade Icewood, murdered in 2005. Darnell Quincy Lindsay, known as Blade Icewood, was a member of the Detroit rap group Street Lords and is considered one of the most influential figures in Detroit underground rap. On September 20th, 2004, Blade survived a brutal attack where he was shot 7 times with an AK-47 after armed men broke into his home. He was left paralyzed from the chest down and used a wheelchair. 2 days before Blade's shooting wipeout, a rival Detroit East Side rapper was killed near the Candy Bar nightclub on Woodward Avenue, leading many to believe the shootings were connected. Blade's diss track, Ride on Me, suggests he knew his attackers. Tragically, on April 19, 2005, Blade Icewood was shot and killed at a car wash in West Detroit. The shooter fired 17 rounds at his Range Rover. The location was less than a mile from where Blade had held an anti-violence rally a year earlier.
We was the original Street Lord Cheddar Boys. You know what I'm saying? We did our thing. This ain't no disrespect to the East Side guys, you know. Bless Wipeout and his family. God bless the dead, you know. Bless my man, Blade Icewood. But the Street Lord Cheddar Boys was first. You know what I'm saying? We started rapping first. We was doing our thing first. They was cool, you know what I'm saying? The East Side Cheddar Boys was cool. And it wasn't no beef, and then everybody was cool. If you go listen to their first CD, you hear Blade on their CD, you hear Icewood. I mean, Street Lord Jesse James on their CD. It was all love. What happened where it was an incident where Blade and Wipeout got into it. It wasn't no big ordeal where they was gonna fall out or kill each other. It was just some misunderstanding. Like Blade had nothing to do with Wipeout getting killed. It wasn't like they were at no super beef, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
after his death, Blade's family founded the label Icewood Entertainment in his honor. Blade Icewood remains a symbol of West Detroit, whose legacy lives on in the city's rap scene. Proof, murdered in 2006. Deshaun Dupree Holton, known as Proof, was more than just a Detroit rapper. He was Eminem's mentor early in his career.
Because this great guy told you great things about yourself, and then the whole perspective of your confidence go to another level.
Proof. That's how Proof was to me. Yeah, man. He was a godsend to me because I know that I would not have made it without knowing him, because he gave me he co-signed for me when I went to the shop, when I went to Ebony Show, because he co-signed for me everywhere I went, and people respected him.
In 1996, Proof formed the group D12, which Eminem later signed to his label,
Nigga don't care to none. For every stroke, it's $100.
helping the group gain worldwide fame. On April 11, 2006, after a failed pool game at the CCC Club on 8 Mile Road, Detroit, an altercation occurred between Proof and war veteran Keith Bender. Bender's cousin, Mario Etheridge, shot Proof once in the head and twice in the chest, killing him instantly. The city, the group, and Eminem mourned the loss deeply. At Proof's funeral, Eminem said, "Without Proof, there would be a Marshall Mathers, but there would not be an Eminem. There would not be a D12, and there would not be a Slim Shady."
The greatest freestyler I've ever seen in my life is Proof. He might use one line in a 60-second battle that was something that he had premeditated, but everything else would be spontaneous. I've never seen anybody be able to have that kind of a natural gift and ability to do that, you know? And I'm not just saying that because he was my homie. I'm saying that because I've never seen anybody be so gifted.
Dolla, murdered in 2009. Roderick Anthony Burton II, known by his stage name Dolla, was another rapper who was tragically killed. His commercial debut single, Who the Fuck Is That?, featuring T-Pain and Tay Deezum, charted on the Billboard Hot 100. On May 18, 2009, Dolla was shot and killed by Aubrey Lewis Berry during an altercation near a shopping mall. Berry claimed self-defense, referencing a prior incident in Atlanta where he was beaten, and later threatened by Dolla in Los Angeles. When Berry saw Dolla approaching him with others and believed he was reaching for a weapon, he fired 4 shots. Dolla died from a gunshot wound to the heart. Berry was acquitted in court, though many saw the shooting as reckless revenge rather than true self-defense. Dolla was a promising rapper. His publicist Sue Vanessing said, "He was being hyped as the next Tupac. He chose music to get off the streets."
I was working with Dolla from maybe 2001, 2000, early 2000.
Working his career the whole time.
Yeah.
And was it reaching a high point around the time he got killed?
Hell yeah, we was number 65 on the Billboard chart with Who the Fuck Is That with T-Pain. We were number 2 on 106 and Park and probably gonna end up beating Bow Wow. You know, that's when Bow Wow was Mr. 106 and Park. You know what I'm saying?
M-Bone, killed in 2011. Monte Talbert, known as M-Bone, was a member of the group Cali Swag District. The group is best known for their hit Teach Me How to Dougie, which sold 1.6 million downloads, according to Nielsen SoundScan, reached number 9 on the Hot Hip Hop R&B Songs chart, and number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 2010.
For you to back it up and dump it.
The track became an international hit and popularized the Dougie dance, turning it into a cultural phenomenon. Tragically, on May 15, 2011, M-Bone was shot twice in the head while sitting in his car after visiting a local wine store. He was rushed to the hospital but was pronounced dead. The shooting appeared to be a random act of violence. "We haven't gotten any information that he was the target of anything," said Lieutenant Steve Overly of the Inglewood Police Department.
Monte danced all his life. There are times that we were all just on Christmas, Thanksgiving, move the furniture out the way, because the family about to get down. We put on shows for our grandmother, for our uncle. Monte was a good boy. He didn't harm nobody, but it's okay. It's okay, because he's in a better place. He's gonna be okay. He's all gonna be okay. We love him. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I just want to say, Monte, I love you with all my heart.
J-Money, murdered in 2013. Jerome Wood, known as J-Money, was a local Chicago rapper. He wasn't just connected to neighborhood gang members, but was also known for his ruthlessness. On September 2nd, 2013, J Money arrived to pick up his girlfriend from a laundromat on South Rhodes Avenue, Chicago, where she had called him. He had another man in the car with him. While the girlfriend was walking to the car, unknown shooters in a Chevy Impala, seen driving nearby earlier, opened fire. J Money was fatally shot in the head. The girlfriend tried to save him, but he died on the spot. The shooting appeared to be a planned assassination. J Hood from O Block commented on the incident.
What happened with J Money?
Oh, he was going to see Mona Lisa, and man, you know she got that man set up. I don't care what
Who's Mona Lisa?
Well, let me not put that on her name. God forbid she did that. I hope she didn't. But most times it happened like that. J Money was going over there to visit his BM, and next thing you know, the ops knew exactly when he was coming, and they killed him right on her doorstep. And Prince Dre was in the car. Dre was in the car, and I saw Dre, bro, and it was broke down. Like, when I saw Dre, he was beat down. Like, bro, cause they did it right in front of them. And mind you, he probably was terrified, cause like they could have looked at the car, tried to come. But yeah, they saw J Money, I don't know if, you know how people be there, so they like, we saw the whole time. You ain't see, cause when the shots blew, you ducked. But then when they left, you looked up.
His death was part of numerous street conflicts and losses within the O Block rap community during the fall of 2013. No arrests have been made in connection with the case. Big Glow, murdered in 2014, Mario Hess, known professionally as Big Glow, formerly Blood Money before signing a contract, was the eldest member of the Glory Boys entertainment crew. His 2013 mixtape Drug Wars for Glory Boys led to his recent signing with Interscope Records. Big Glow's manager said he wanted to move him to a different city. He's from the streets. He was basically trying to just get his rap career together because that's a good opportunity, he said. They gave him some money up front. It was a good chance for him to get himself out the hood. On April 9th, 2014, 2 shooters opened fire on Elizabeth Avenue. Mario was hit by 10 bullets and was pronounced dead at John H. Stroger Jr., Hospital of Cook County. Police found more than 24 shell casings at the crime scene.
With his situation, with him being killed and shit, people said it was KI. Why do you think people was hating on Blood Money?
Dude, bro, folks them killed T-Roy and Von killed that nigga. No matter what the fuck else, and look, I might be saying it in a harsh way, but I'm no way in no form of fashion trying to be disrespectful to Blood. Rest in peace to Big Gang. Niggas was backdooring. That's why I'm speaking out on the shit. I don't know nothing. The First Street know what's up. They know that it's been some shit going on for years
but
now.
T-Roy and Chief Keef was cool. Why would T-Roy kill Chief Keef's cousin, though?
We can't even get to all the main logistics of it, but we just gonna say niggas is followers. T-Roy and Von was who they was, but that don't mean that them niggas was, like, them niggas listen to people.
His life was cut short just as he was getting a chance to start fresh. Bigg Paybacc, killed in 2014. Habib Amir Zakaj, known as Bigg Paybacc, was known for his 2011 single Wanksta Love, which was rooted in Los Angeles gang culture, and for his collaboration with rapper Spider Lock. On November 7th, 2014, Paybacc was shot and killed while having lunch at a local McDonald's in Palmdale. The killer simply walked in and fired several shots at the rapper. There was no altercation, the LA County Sheriff's Department stated. This guy just walked in through one door, shot him, and left out another door. So it looked like something personal. He had something against this individual. It wasn't like he shot up the McDonald's. He just shot him and left. The Jacka, killed in 2015. Shahid Akbar, better known by his stage name The Jacka, began his career as part of the rap group Mob Figaz. In 2001, his first solo release, The Jacka of the Mob, Figaz, came out and sold over 30,000 copies.
Look at my face, you can tell I'm a thug.
His subsequent releases only strengthened his reputation in the hip-hop community. In 2009, his third album, Tear Gas, was released, and the song Glamorous Lifestyle became an instant classic in the Bay Area. Before his death, he owned his own record label, The Artist Records. On February 2nd, 2015, the Jacka was shot and killed in East Oakland while freestyling with friends in a van and enjoying the evening. He was just making music, Reggie Grant, who described himself as Jacka's godbrother, told NBC Bay Area. "Bullets don't have no name. I don't know who did it," he continued. "He had problems with nobody. He'd give you his shoes off his feet. He gave jobs to lots of people."
It was most important for him to touch people that were going to understand him and that were going to understand the music that he was doing. That was like what was most important, you know, to touch people that came from the struggle, touch people that came from poverty, touch people who were in jail, touch people who were lost.
Dex Osama, murdered in 2015.
Me and my niggas win like that.
Byron Cox, known as Dex Osama, rose to fame after releasing raw, unfiltered rap about street life in Detroit from the perspective of his crew, known as the Choppa Boys. He gained regional recognition with tracks like Death on Me and
The reason why I got this vest on me.
Heavy.
Nigga call it copper, please. Can't shit stop us.
Dex was affiliated with Meek Mill's Dream Chasers label and had ties to DJ Loaf.
He always was rapping. I always would find papers and I'll be reading like, what the hell is this? But it was always his little raps. And I'd be like, Byron, what is this? And Deucey'd be like, Byron's raps. You know what I'm saying? He'd have notebooks and notebooks just full of raps. He loved music. He loved music. At a young age, the stuff that he would rap about, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know about this? How do you even know this word? I knew he always said he was going to be famous. He would always say, I'm going to be famous. We going to be famous. Watch, we going to make it.
On September 7th, 2015, Dex got into an altercation with a group of men after leaving the Crazy Horse strip club. He was shot in the chest, but managed to walk to a nearby gas station and called 911, later dying at the hospital. The conflict reportedly started over an argument inside the club after Dex poured champagne on a stripper friend because she was about to dance for another man. During a preliminary court hearing, several video recordings were shown, including one capturing the moment Dex Osama was shot.
At the hospital. I couldn't take it. And all the people that was there, we just got there too late. I was so hurt. I was just hurt about it. Still moaning, but he won't be back. That's why I'm glad he has the videos, and that way I could see him and I could hear him. You know, think about him a lot.
2 men were charged, Otis Davis and Dietrich Odoms. They remain in custody, but the final verdict in the case is still pending. Doughboy Roc, murdered in 2017, Rodney Yergin, known as Doughboy Roc, was part of the Detroit rap group Doughboy's Cash Out. He had past legal troubles related to drugs and firearms. Despite periods of incarceration, he remained a prolific artist, releasing solo projects such as Ghetto Testimony, 2013, Beast Mode, 2014, and Loyalty is Everything, 2016.
I never switched up or turned my back on my mans.
His lyrics and energy helped popularize Detroit's street sound and local hip-hop culture. On October 9th, 2017, Doughboy Roc was shot and killed. A few months earlier, D.E.A. agents had seized over $54,800 in cash from him. Roc insisted the money was earned legally through selling CDs and performing, claiming he was planning to buy a car in Arizona. He was never charged with any federal crimes, and 3 months after the seizure, his lawyer filed a petition to recover the money. "My client was not a drug dealer. He was a successful artist," the lawyer said.
I can't even believe I'm talking about it because it's destroying us. It literally is destroying us. He can't be replaced. He loved Detroit. He loved the people. He loved even being around the young fans, not just the fans, but people. And that's just who he was.
So when, on October 9th, Detroit police found his bullet-riddled body in a white Hyundai near Stoepel and Westfield Streets, it remained unclear whether the killing was linked to the cash seizure or an ongoing D.E.A. investigation. Shortly after the news of the rapper's death broke, the area was flooded with law enforcement and mourners, and social media was filled with tributes from fellow musicians. XXXtentacion, murdered in 2018. Jose Dwayne Ricardo Onfroy, known as XXXtentacion, was an innovative American rapper who rose to immense popularity in the emo rap and SoundCloud rap movements in the late 2000s and teens. Despite his controversial persona, he was widely recognized for his influence on a new generation of artists. On June 18, 2018, at the age of 20, XXXtentacion was shot and killed outside a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. 2 armed men ambushed him in an attempted robbery.
The inspiration and how he talked to people, like, it's so powerful, man. And 20 years old and going like that, that's crazy. That's real crazy. And I knew God had some things for him, but hey, he's in a better place now.
That kind of Sour Patch, it's like I get that nostalgic feeling.
To me, he was an inspiration. It's kind of hard not to cry when I talk about him or listen to his music anymore, because it gets me very emotional. But I liked X. I really liked him as an artist. He was one of my favorites.
In August 2022, one of the 4 suspects pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in exchange for testifying against the other 3. On March 20th, 2023, the remaining 3 suspects were found guilty on all counts. They were sentenced on April 6th, 2023, to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Nipsey Hussle, murdered in 2019. Ermias Joseph Asghedom, known as Nipsey Hussle, was a rapper, entrepreneur, and activist. He independently released his debut mixtape Slossin' Boy Volume 1, which led to deals with Cinematic Music Group and Epic Records. Outside of music, Hussle also opened his own clothing store, Marathon Clothing. However, his success in both music and business was tragically cut short on March 31st, 2019. Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed in front of his clothing store in South Los Angeles. The shooter, Eric Ronald Holder Jr., was a member of the same gang as Hussle, the Rollin' 60s. When Nipsey allegedly called Holder a snitch, it enraged him. Holder left, then returned with a gun and shot Hussle. Holder fired at least 10 rounds, then kicked Nipsey in the head before fleeing. He was later found guilty and sentenced to 60 years in prison.
Police, they want to stop anybody from trying to make our neighborhood great again, you know what I mean?
That definitely was jealousy. That was a situation where somebody felt like they got disrespected.
Pop Smoke, murdered in 2020.
Bathe for the day, or bathe for the night.
Bashar Jackson, known as Pop Smoke, was one of the first Brooklyn rappers to use drill beats from the UK. While he wasn't the first New York artist to experiment with UK drill, he undoubtedly popularized the sound and played a key role in bringing Brooklyn's drill scene to the international stage. Pop Smoke had traveled to Los Angeles to celebrate and promote the release of his second album. In February 2020, he was shot and killed during a home invasion robbery at a house he was renting via Airbnb. 5 individuals were later arrested in connection with the rapper's murder, 3 adult men and 2 juveniles. All they stole was his Rolex, which they later sold for just $2,000.
Say that you guys robbed Pop Smoke for a watch and y'all pawned it for $2,000. So with that being said, it was 4 of y'all split 4 ways. That's $500. Was it worth it?
No, it wasn't worth it. Nothing's worth another person's life.
FBG Duck, murdered in 2020. Carlton Weekly, known as FBG Duck, began his career in 2013 within Chicago's drill music scene. He rose to wider fame in 2018 with his hit song, Slide. In the last 5 years of his life, he released 4 albums and countless solo singles with his rap collective Flyboy Gang. Duck used music as a voice for the streets, addressing themes of violence, loss, and the harsh realities of life in Chicago. In his later years, he also became a vocal advocate for peace between rival factions, which added emotional depth to his image as an artist. On August 4th, 2020, a shooting occurred in the upscale Gold Coast shopping district, not far from downtown Chicago. 4 men exited a vehicle and opened fire on Carlton, killing him. His girlfriend and another bystander were also injured and taken to the hospital.
Duck death is one of the sickest shit I ever seen. Guys come like Al Capone and spray him down. The man in one of the safest areas in the world and lose his life. But he be in them ghetto-ass neighborhoods every day and he was safe there. Shit can happen at a blink of an eye. All that shit be backdoor. Shit, Duck was out here in Chicago dangerously.
Federal authorities linked the shooting to an ongoing gang war. 6 members of a well-known gang were arrested. Finally, in 2024, all 6 were found guilty of carrying out a contract killing. King Von, murdered in 2020, Davon Daquan Bennett, known as King Von, signed with Lil Durk's record label Only the Family in 2018. His 2018 single Crazy Story and his 2020 hit Took Her to the O were both certified triple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, RIAA. He first found success as a rapper in his hometown of Chicago, but later relocated to Atlanta, where he was eventually killed.
My brother just walked in. He had walked in my house, and he said it. He didn't say it in an exciting way, but he said it in a way of like, I thought you already know this, but he was like, you know, King Von died. I said, what, bro? He said, you know he died? They said he died last night, he got shot or something like that. And it's in the middle of me cooking, bro. I look at my phone and I see the shit. And I used to wake up and not touch my phone for like 2 hours or 3 hours just to keep a type of peace and start my day right. So when I looked at it, it just hit me crazy. And I remember, boy, I dropped down to the floor.
On November 6th, 2020, a fight broke out in the parking lot of Monaco Hookah Lounge on Trinity Avenue, leading to a shootout between 2 groups. King Von was shot multiple times and taken to the hospital, where he later died. 22-year-old Timothy Lull Tim Leaks, a rapper affiliated with Quando Rondo, was arrested for the shooting.
You walked up to King Von to dap him up. Can you take us through that night?
I don't even remember that night. That was so long ago. You know how that go. Man, I don't even remember 2 months ago.
However, in 2023, all charges against Leaks were dropped under Georgia's Stand Your Ground law. Marlo, murdered in 2020. Rudolph Johnson, known as Marlo, joined Quality Control Music in 2017 alongside fellow rappers Migos, Lil Yachty, and his close collaborator Lil Baby. Marlo released 5 mixtapes under the label, starting with his debut To the Hard Way with Lil Baby, followed by The Wire, Ninth Ward God, The Real One, and First and Third, which featured major names like Future, Young Thug, and Gucci Mane. Unfortunately, Marlo came to music later in life, hoping to escape what he called the streets, a world of guns and drug trafficking that surrounded him, growing up in one of Atlanta's most neglected neighborhoods. On July 11, 2020, Marlo was found shot to death in his car on Interstate 285. The shooting occurred amid a spike in gun violence in Atlanta during a turbulent period of protests following the police killings of Rayshard Brooks and George Floyd. Lotto Savage, murdered in 2025. Lotto Savage entered the rap scene through his appearance on 21 Savage's 2015 track, Dirty K.
AK-47s, I'd give your ass a facelift.
After the release of his viral single, Trapped It Out, in 2016, Lotto signed a deal with Epic Records. He went on to release 3 more projects, including the 2024 album Unfinished Business. His style, raw street lyricism, authentic trap sound, and captivating energy, made him a significant figure in modern Atlanta hip-hop. On March 19th, 2025, Lotto Savage was fatally shot in an ambush outside his residence at the Glen Hollow Apartments. Witnesses who heard gunfire reported seeing the shooter flee the scene in a car. One theory suggests the killing was connected to a long-standing conflict. One individual has been arrested and charged with premeditated murder in connection to the shooting, but the case remains open. Young Scooter, 2025. Kenneth Edward Rashad Bailey, known as Young Scooter, was one of the first artists to sign with Freebands, the label founded by his friend and fellow Atlanta rapper Future in 2012. Scooter's breakout moment came in January 2013 with the release of his mixtape Street Lottery. Eric Deep of XXL called Scooter one of the hottest street rappers coming out of Atlanta, noting that tracks like Columbia and Street Lottery were proof of his undeniable talent. On March 28, 2025, his 39th birthday, Bailey died while trying to flee from Atlanta police. Many fans believed he was shot by police officers, but this contradicts official statements from the medical examiner. Police responded to a 911 call reporting a domestic dispute with gunshots at a home on William Nye Drive. When officers arrived, Bailey attempted to flee. He sustained a severe injury to his right thigh that caused significant blood loss. According to the medical examiner, the injury was not caused by a gunshot. Mr. Bailey was wounded by organic, wooden material from a fence and/or splinters after jumping over at least one barrier.
Tonight, hundreds of people came together in Atlanta's Kirkwood neighborhood to pay their respects to rapper Young Scooter.
Scooter just one of a kind.
Hundreds of balloons floated into the sky over Bessie Branham Park Thursday evening as fans, friends, and family gathered to say goodbye to Young Scooter.
I love you, son, and I'm gonna miss you. A lot of laughs, watch a lot of...
Later, it was revealed that the 911 call was false, and a woman was arrested for providing misleading information.
What was your knowledge of Young Scooter prior to his untimely passing this week?
Nothing.
You never ran into him in the streets?
Never met him. I heard his name.
Legend.
But that's it. But what I do know, we knew who the girl was because she's a Clubhouse girl.
Wait, seriously?
We knew who she was. We've been through this. That's who turned her in, somebody on Clubhouse.
She's a Clubhouse head.
Yeah,
I knew you were all bad, honestly.
She's a Clubhouse.
Honestly, like one bad apple
She out
spoils the whole
the,
bunch. You've all been
She out the
you've all been
trenches.
affected.
She be over there in the Chicago room, my boy Kiddo Curry.
Really?
But as soon as they heard the 911 call, they knew it was her.
They exiled her. Is she exiled from the Clubhouse community now? Because she's gonna kind of be like a low key legend / villain after this.
They called her. Then they like, dumb bitch. You got the homie killed. She deleted all her socials.
I know. I was trying to find her Instagram.
And then when it went up, that it was a $5,000 reward.
Police ruled his death an accident, one that could have been avoided. However, Bailey's family and loved ones maintain that young Scooter was shot and that police are covering up their responsibility. In the end, one thing is clear. Hip-hop has given many people hope for a better future. Yet, for many of its voices, life often feels like every day could be their last. Why it turned out this way is a question everyone who loves old-school, real hip-hop wants to find an answer to. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell. You can also write a comment in the comments section down below. See you later on the Top Art Legends.